Leon, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. This episode of Roll for Sandwich is sponsored by Dietz & Watson. Let's see what kind of sandwich we can make using the meats and cheeses they've provided. Let's get it started with our roll for bread.
Wait, is this sponsored by
Fate Decide My Lunch? Let's go. This episode of Roll...
Okay, fun fact. Has nothing to do with them. You know, you go to the grocery store, there's typically only a couple of brands nowadays. There's like Boar's Head, Dietz & Watson, and for cheese, there's like Land O'Lakes, right? Do you know? And the only reason I know this is because the manager at the deli told me, like, semi-recently, because I was looking to get yellow Land O'Lakes white American cheese, or sorry, not white American cheese, but yellow American cheese, and they told me they didn't carry it anymore, and they didn't carry a lot of stuff anymore, because Boar's Head started paying the grocery stores to carry less items of other brands, so they would carry more of their stuff. So if you ever go to the grocery store and they have a lot of Boar's Head or a lot of Dietz & Watson of something, and they don't have much else, it's because the grocery store is getting paid to not carry the other stuff. I work for Boar's Head, and that is very true. Yeah, I didn't even know that was legal. I actually didn't. I mean, it kind of like, it makes sense. They're paying them to not have competitors next to their items. But like, if you ever wonder why certain grocery stores have certain things and other ones do not, that's why.
Watson. Let's see what kind of sandwich we can make using the meats and cheeses they've provided. Let's get it started with our roll for bread. 4 tortilla quesadilla style. We're just going to build everything directly in our pan here today. We'll get our flour tortilla down and then we'll roll to see what we're going to put on it. All right, let's roll for main. 9 sweet capicola. Capicola is thin sliced, dry cured pork shoulder. It comes in several varieties, including sweet and spicy. Today I have sweet
I'm in
capicola.
so far.
Not a bad start at all. Next, let's roll for cheese. 2 Havarti dill. Havarti is a
Tom
buttery
Hardy cheese.
with just a
Let's
little bit
go.
of sharpness that dill complements perfectly. It also melts super well, so it's a great roll for our quesadilla today. It should be a fine pairing with the sweet capicola. It's an interesting combination today,
I love
but
cheese.
not
That's a
an
lot of
unwelcome
cheese, though, for one of these. That's a lot of cheese.
All right, next
that's
up,
gonna,
let's roll
that's
our
gonna
roughage.
be thick.
1 banana and 4 chives. I haven't been this hurt by a banana since the last time I played Mario Kart. Let's hope it gets masked by the other ingredients and isn't too overpowering. The chives, however, will be a great addition. They will pair nicely with the cheese and the dill, and their slight oniony flavor should go great with the capicola.
Still savable?
All right, I messed up and did this out of order, so here's the sauce roll. 15 sweet red pepper mayo. Not a bad roll, not a bad roll at all.
Savable?
We'll add a little bit of creaminess, a little bit of savoriness, and some nice flavor from the sweet red pepper without being too much.
But savable.
All right, and I guess today it's last but not least, it's the D20 Wild Magic Roll. It's bacon! All right, well, I guess we saved the best for last. Get a nice layer of bacon on here.
Saved?
And then we're going to close up our sandwich.
Oh, he's using it on
the
okay, that makes actually more
earlier,
sense.
But since recording this video, I've learned this is actually called a sincronizada, when you use 2 tortillas instead of folding 1. All right, we're going to get our lid on here and cook this for a little while until the cheese gets melty. All right, it's looking pretty good.
Flip it, flip it.
I think we might be ready to flip it.
Flip it, flip it, flip it.
And there we go.
So
no
smart.
Problem. Let the other side
So
toast up a
smart.
little
Why
bit
haven't I
and get
never
the
thought
nice
about
golden
that?
brown on that side. And there we go. I think this bad boy is ready to get to the cutting board. All right, and today we're going to use some movie magic
Okay,
to
this
cut our
looks
sandwich in
this
half.
looks great.
There we go.
I'm not gonna lie. The banana is
And
kind
let's
of
take
a
look at
troll,
our
but
cross-section.
this looks like a potential 10.
Cross-section.
Maybe like a 9.5.
Well, we have such a thin cross-section that I can't get my camera to focus on it.
It's fine.
This is, here you go.
I don't want to see the banana.
All
Just
right.
pretend it's not there.
I mean, it looks good. All right, let's give this melty boy a taste.
I think it's probably gonna be like a 9.5.
Well, it's a messy one, but hot dang if that's not delicious. Just to double check, here's a banana. Make sure I get a bite with a banana. You know, it's not really that bad. Once it's been warmed up, it doesn't really taste much like banana. It just adds a little bit of sweetness. The capicola and the bacon
Maybe a 10.
are nice and salty, and that dill Havarti melts like a dream. I really expected that banana to do more damage, but I am pleasantly surprised. Gotta love when the dice throw you for a loop and you still end up with a good sandwich. I'm gonna give this one an 8.9 today, and I'm gonna call it Bananas Watson. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again on Friday. Good afternoon, D&D TikTok.
I feel scammed. I feel so scammed. I'm not gonna put the banana in, but I might try the rest of it. I might actually do that. You know what's actually? I never really thought about using 2 tortilla rolls instead of 1 tortilla roll, because the reason why I don't like tortilla rolls that much for like sandwich stuff is because I always feel like whenever I go to roll it up, it just falls apart, because it's either like I either have to put not enough ingredients and it just feels like it sucks, or I put too much ingredients and it's too fat, you know? But if you use 2 and put it in the middle, that's actually kind of genius.
Welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using this purple, black, and gold liquid core set that I bought for myself. Thanks, me. Let's get things started with our roll for bread. 2 freezer ends. Today I've got 2 slices of farmhouse sourdough that I've toasted up here. They may look a little dark on camera, but they're not burnt. All right, next up, let's roll for main.
Yeah.
9 ham. I seem to be getting ham a lot lately, but I'm not complaining about that. I'll take a nice ham sandwich any day. Next up, let's roll for cheese.
Thanks me is so based.
5 halloumi.
True.
Halloumi is a traditional cheese from Cyprus that's popular all over the Mediterranean and Middle East. It's made with both sheep's milk and goat's milk and has a very high melting temperature. Because of its melting temperature, it's often served grilled, which is what we're going to do today. We're going to cut a couple about 1/4-inch slices and toss them in our pan on medium-high heat. They cook for about 4 minutes on each side, and when they're done, they have this nice golden brown skin on them.
I don't care. F.
Grilled, which is what we're going to do today.
Skip ahead.
On medium-high, they have this nice golden brown skin.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I could make snacks of those
on them. I'm excited to have this on the show today.
I feel like I could make a plate of those as a snack.
I'm locally, and I finally found some. Next up, let's roll for some roughage. 7 tomato and 8 marinated mushrooms. Not a bad roll for roughage today. I'm a big fan of tomatoes on my sandwiches. They're nice and refreshing and add just a slight bit of acid. They should go great with both the ham and the cheese. These Italian marinated mushrooms are marinated in an olive oil vinegar mixture with some pimento and spices. I love mushrooms, so this is a lot of
mushrooms.
Dice them up a little
Holy
bit
shit.
so they don't roll all over the place.
That is a lot of mushrooms.
I'm gonna make a nice healthy pile of them right up there on our tomatoes. Ham, fried cheese, tomato, and mushroom. Getting a little bit of a deconstructed pizza vibe so far. All right, let's hit it with a little wild magic. 11. We've already rolled that on our McElroy family table, so let's refer to our original table. 11 is truffle salt. All right, so we're just going to add a little bit more umami and mushroomy taste to our mushrooms and get some salt on those tomatoes.
It's fine.
All right, and last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 8. Superior mustard. Wober's Superior Mustard is a stone-milled Dijon from Ohio. The recipe actually dates back to the 1800s. It's a potent and tasty mustard and a promising capstone for this sandwich. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here.
Other than the mushrooms, I'd try it.
Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. And let's go ahead and cut it in half.
I'd try it.
Let's take a look at that cross section.
Other than the mushrooms.
Right. Some interesting additions today with the halloumi and marinated mushrooms, but nothing too off the wall. I've got a fair amount of confidence in this one. Let's taste it.
She's gonna care. Oh, look at it. It's leaking. The mushrooms are leaking everywhere. Oh.
Well, it's a little drippy from that mushroom marinade, but tastes pretty good. The halloumi is salty and tasty, but it's kind of on the dry side. It's not bad that it is. That's just how it is. So having that little bit of extra marinade for the mushrooms is nice. I like the Superior Mustard, but I don't know if that's what I would have chosen for this had I been able to pick. I maybe would have gone with a balsamic or even a tzatziki sauce. But as it is, it's still a pretty tasty sandwich. So much so, I'm going to give this one a 9.1, and I'm going to call it the It's Halloumi Mario. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.
There's no way that's a 9, right? Like it was an okay sandwich, you know, not the best. I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have done that. I didn't like this part. And then a 9? Even off the whole day? Nah, I'm getting thrown for a loop. I'm getting thrown for a loop. No.
Worried about the taste.
Why is this one? Why do they always skip to the exact same spot?
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich.
I'm watching these in my sleep.
Beside my lunch.
At my PC.
Go. Today I'm going to be using this black and red set that was sent in by a viewer. Thanks.
I'm not even logged into my account.
Roll for bread. 5, tavern roll. This is basically a fancy hamburger bun, but I'm here for it. Not everything has to be complicated. Sometimes something simple done well is better. Next up, let's roll for main. 8, chicken. I've got sliced rotisserie style chicken today. A fairly mellow start so far.
Chicken's good.
Next up, let's roll for cheese. 4, Havarti. Havarti should be a
really quick sidetrack. There's some guy on TikTok that I've seen a bit. His name's like Meat Daddy or some shit, or like, I don't know. It's like Meat something. And basically his whole thing is he basically just makes meat at home, using like no, not Meat Canyon. What? No. He basically, instead of like going to the grocery store, Meat Dad. Yeah, it's Meat Dad. Okay. Is it Meat Dad? It might be Meat Dad. But basically the whole thing is basically he goes to like the butcher and like buys big chunks, you know, and then he makes it himself. So like instead of spending like, you know, for like a pound of chicken, you know, breast at the store, it's like $8.50 or $9 for like sliced, you know what I mean? He just buys like actual chicken and then turns it into deli chicken slices for like a quarter of the price. And it's so cool that he does it. But the comments are always filled with like, yeah, just buy like a meat processor, because he has an actual like slicing machine. But it's like, you could probably do a lot of those things without those pieces of machinery, but he's making content of it. Of course he has the machinery. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's doing it to make it cleaner cuts, but you could also probably do it without as cleaner cuts and be fine. And I think that's really cool, but it's also like, I don't know, it just shows how people on the internet kind of hate anything.
Be a fine pairing with our chicken.
I know the slicer is expensive as, but you could probably do it by hand and be fine. It just wouldn't look as good. You know what I mean? He's doing do the slicer because you're making content. It's his business, right? It makes sense. Like,
it's smooth and creamy with just a little bite, which will add some interest.
Saves money, makes more work. Yeah, but like, that I think is kind of cool though, because like meat, for example, is one of those things that if you are like really good with it, you could buy like big chunks from the butcher and then freeze them and use them for months. You know what I mean? Most of the money you pay for meat at a butcher is fees, and you get to cut it, and they get to cut it for you. Yeah, so like, you save all that, right? I just think it's cool. I thought it was cool content.
Next up, let's roll some roughage.
Also, sup, Ruben?
3 carrots and 5 baby bok choy. I think today I'm gonna grate my carrots. The carrots will add a slight sweetness and a little bit of fiber to our sandwich. Not the most exciting roll, but it shouldn't cause any problems. And at the very least, it adds a nice splash of color. All right, next up, we've got our baby bok choy. When eaten raw, I would describe the stems of bok choy as being like more floral tasting celery, and the leaves akin to a bitter green like spinach, and they almost have a slight hint of a tomato-y type flavor.
Tunes necessary. My granddad grew up making sausages, smoking, and drying himself.
Let's hit it with some wild magic.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Like, you don't have to have that stuff to make it, but like that's what everyone focuses on. Like, I wish I could do that. Like, okay, let's say someday I retired from streaming and I had all the time in the world, I'd probably do shit like that. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. Make it greasy. Well, okay, but like a number. Like, what do you hit?
Make it greasy feels like a 3.
11.
You don't want that. Like, I wouldn't want
Oh, it's bad down here. And just to be clear, this is not added greasy ingredients. It's just add the quality of greasy to the sandwich. He has some leeway there. Make it greasy.
And don't try to put Mediterranean ingredients on it and say you've made it greasy. Yeah, don't be clever. We spelled it out the right way.
Make it greasy. All right. Well, they left that pretty open-ended, but I have an idea, but I'm not excited about it. What I have here is some Crisco vegetable shortening. Ugh, I wish that was cream cheese. It's not. We're going to make sure our sandwich is nice and greasy. But, you know, putting it on the inside's not going to make this a greasy enough experience. So here we go. Gonna make it just completely unbearable.
I thought the last one was evil, but this is worse.
Awesome. I hate this already. All right, and last but not least, the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 10, gravy. All right, I've got some more of that.
Couldn't you just make it greasy by like throwing like 3 or 4 slices of cheese in a pan, right? And then like cooking it. You know how it gets like cheese, if it's getting really hot, heated up, like if you put like nachos in the microwave or something, like sometimes you can see the grease on it. Why not just go that route? That's greasy.
Caramelized onion gravy that we had on Thanksgiving. So we'll get that on here, and it's gonna just slide off of the grease. Great. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here. Oh. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. Let's go ahead and cut it in half. And let's take a look at that cross section. Well, the cross-section doesn't look bad. Well, the brothers had no way of knowing this, but I really hate having slimy things on my hands.
Me too.
So this is not going to be enjoyable. I'm not particularly worried about the taste, but feel like this is going to be rough. Here we go. Well, we succeeded in making it greasy.
It's on his nose.
The inside of my mouth feels like I just ate a tube of chapstick. Taste-wise, it is
this has got to be a
pretty
0.
mild. I mean, it's
an
what you would
actual
expect.
0.
And then on the outside, it's just a sensory nightmare.
A 0. An actual
of all
0.
the challenges of season 5 so far,
negative
I think
5.
this is actually
Negative
my
10.
least favorite. I'm gonna have to go with a 0 for this one.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna call it the Danny Zuko. Here, eat up, Earl. Good sandwich mimic. Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'll see you next time. I gotta go wash my hands.
Dude, oh man, I'm glad we at least agree, because, oh, Jesus Christ. This man acting like he knows good food? We just looked at a grease sandwich, okay? I'm pretty sure I know how that tastes. That probably tastes pretty terrible.